My roofing business is growing and growing. If you like affirmations, let's talk about mindset. Hi, this is Daniel Lakstins, and you're listening to the Roofing Business Builder Podcast. Now, I'm a 32-year vet in the commercial, all roofing industry, but I've been over 17 years or 20 years in the commercial roofing industry, and I'm your personal commercial roofing guru when it comes to helping you, get into the commercial roofing arena. Well, this week we're going to be talking about mindset, and particularly like in affirmations, things that make you affirm that, hey, things are going well. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to start putting out a podcast a lot sooner. It seems like I only have gotten a guest maybe once a month for you guys to listen to and bring you value. And I was wanting to kick it up a notch and bring you more value. In my weekly wins, I usually do a 20-minute presentation, and it's broken up into 3 different segments, which is mindset, installation detail, and lastly, prospecting. And so I was thinking to bring you more value, the ones that are listening to the Roofing Business Builder podcast, I might go ahead and break those up and do a mindset and then do one of the ones that was on installation, and lastly a prospecting one. And that way every week you could get another podcast where you can get true value of understanding what we're all going through when it comes to roofing, and ones that are crossing over into commercial. So now let's look into this mindset practice where my attention goes, energy flows. All right, so this week our intention is where my attention goes, energy flows. So this is an attention for yourself, that where my attention goes, energy flows. And it's true that, just take looking at a really nice car, or you see a picture of someone that looks really like hot or something. If you focus on that, after a while you want to buy the car, or you want to rush home and be with your wife. But either way, the point is where you focus your eyes on, where you focus your attention, then that's where you're placing energy, little mental energy on it. And so we can start to draw that into reality. Don't forget that there's a delay factor. So you don't have to worry if you are dealing with something that's negative, then you can think about that for a while, but you don't want to focus your attention on that, because if you do, then over a long period of time, then you're going to start to draw that into reality. And that's where a lot of us came from. So if we look at the next slide, the question is where is my attention at? What am I focused on? So are we always concerned about what could go wrong with this job? What could go wrong with my company? What if this doesn't happen? Are we looking at this kind of a house? Is that your dream house on the left? Is that what you don't want? Do we focus on what we don't want? Or are we focusing on what we do want? Like this really nice house. Are you worthy of that house? Okay, yeah, you can go to the next slide. So here's something to think about that'll help you focus and understand more of where your focus is, because we all have kind of the idiot lights on our trucks. We used to call them idiot lights because if one of those lights came on, your engine was already blown up. It was over. But we have gauges, even your KPIs are your gauges for your company. But for you as an individual, as a business owner, what are your gauges? It's our emotions. So we can feel, if we're feeling upset about something, if you're feeling depression, like in the picture to the left, that's a real thing. But that's a gauge that wakes us up to knowing that our attention is focused in the wrong area of our life. If we're feeling constant anxiety, like we see in the right, that means that it's a gauge. Our emotions are gauges
that help us to understand that our attention is focused on something we don't want, or we do want, but we have anxiety because we're afraid it's not going to happen. But still, we don't want it to happen the way our mind is telling us. But that's a good thing, though, because again, these are gauges. These are your emotional KPIs that help you to know where you're at. So what's interesting to know is you can identify what you need to work on when you take this information into account. If you're feeling depressed, that means your attention is focused too much on the past. Now, it's good to focus on the past so we can think about mistakes we made. It's good to think about the past to see that these are the things I didn't like. And then that gives you contrast to know what you do like or what you do want. But now, if you feel you're anxious or you're suffering anxiety, like you're always like, oh, I'm just tight, wound tight. Well, then that's anxiety. You're focused, your attention is focused too much on the future. But we have to think about, we live, and don't forget, there is no future and there is no past. There is no future, there is no past, there's only the present. But we use this in our minds as tools to create the next future. So right now, you can't change the past, but you can only change the future by living in the present. And then when you analyze all these things and you start to feel at peace, then you can focus your mind on what you truly want and then set directives and goals. Another reason why people have anxiety is that they have too many goals, or they have too much, they feel overwhelmed by the amount of things they're wanting to accomplish. Now, if that is you, if that's the case for you, then reduce some of those things. Make a list of the top 10 most important things that you feel you have to accomplish to grow this business, and then reduce it down to just 2. And then start with those 2. Now keep the list though, but knock out maybe one of the hardest ones and then a couple of the easiest ones. But tackle those, because once you tackle those and you put that into the completed pile, you've thought about it, you've done it, you've acted on it, then you're at peace again. But so don't feel overwhelmed. We don't have to be depressed about the past. We're living in the present. We don't have to repeat the past, the bad ones. That we can repeat some of the good stuff. So suppose you were fishing on a yacht or something. That's a good past thing to think about. Think about that and then visualize the future. But with polarity, doing this in this way, you're still maintaining your attention here in the present on what you do want, and then success will be continually drawn into your life. So that's it for our attention. And what's our attention again? Is that where attention goes, energy flows.
And now it's time for Did You Know? Did you know that when it comes to what's most important for a commercial roofing business owner to focus their attention on, it really depends on how big your business is or some other circumstances. For example, how new of a company are you? If you're an older company, you may be focusing more on safety. Safety is like almost the number one focus that any large company should have first place. And then it comes to other things such as the quality of your work and increasing quality of work. But if you're maybe a newer company and you don't have much work, well, if you don't have work, well, there's nothing to be safe about. Now, granted, when you have some work, you want to definitely be safe. But that means that your attention should be focused on marketing and getting that business, making those sales. And so something to think about. Where are you in the stream of time? How large is your business? And then, as we were talking about earlier, why not start focusing your attention on what's most important? And there's so many distractions around. So grabbing your attention and then centering it on the things that you need to grow your business would be very wise for you. So I also have some free downloads on the Roofing Business Builder website. If you go to roofingbusinessbuilder.com, you might check out the one that is the 10 mistakes for commercial roofing business owners to avoid. And that'll be a free download, but it's got some powerful information there. That way you can focus your attention on ways of really growing your business by avoiding some of the top 10 mistakes that other commercial roofers are making. Well, that's it, guys, for the show. Really appreciate y'all. Remember that we have the Roofing Business Builder platform that you can join and be a part of a family. We do meet every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central and 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to be a part of that, remember it's a 6-week course and you can take it at your leisure, but you'll gain so much, especially if you're crossing over into commercial roofing, or if you're one of those roofers that are just stuck at that $1 million mark and get that mind block. So that's what the program's great for. So thank you so much again, and until next time, I don't always consult on commercial roofing, but when I do, I make millionaires. Stay wealthy, my friends.